arrived. It is Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Central time. And we rolling. We are rolling. It is a beautiful day here in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's see, it's a little warm, but there's no humidity. You know what I'm saying? It's about 88 degrees outside. The humidity's low. I was just outside, just kind of hanging out, chilling for a little bit. You know, feeling pretty good. I got some good rest last night. I gotta go to the dispensary. There's a dispensary like right around the corner. I'm gonna go to that after I'm done with this stream. Pick up some more edibles. We got brother Vincent. What's going on, brother? How you doing today? Good to have you here. I'm doing all right. After this, I'm gonna go to the dispensary, get me some more edibles. I gotta load up on them and a little bit more flour, a little bit more tree as well. I got a phone call I got to make tonight, and then I'm doing another stream later tonight. Unless I don't have time, then I'll just move it back an hour or so. But I'm doing another stream this evening, which should be pretty informative. I'll be talking about the different government programs, federal and state programs that exist to assist people with mental health issues. So we'll be talking about like the grants that are available, like things like the Biden budget, where that money goes to different types of programs. We're going to be talking about pilot programs, homelessness, prison. We're going to be talking about a variety of things. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Luke. Okay. Okay. Well, appreciate you for coming and good on you for phone baking too. Let's keep this work alive. Julio Ashanti, what's going on? But yes, I'll be doing another stream later this evening. Worst come to worst, I'll just do it tomorrow, but I should be able to do it tonight. I just got some other stuff going on. But yes, we have arrived, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, I don't have a ton of stuff today, just because a lot of it's repetitive and I got other stuff to do. But I don't know if y'all have seen a bit of a scandal with Mark Robinson, the lieutenant governor of North Carolina, who's running for governor right now. He's a complete nut job. He's completely out of his mind. And apparently, the Republican Party has asked him to step down because they Republicans want to win. Everybody wants to win their elections, but he is doing very bad anyway. And at this time, I mean, there's not even 2 months left until the election, so I don't really, I don't really know what good him stepping down this late in the game is going to do. But he has said that he won't be doing that, and of course, he's denying all the allegations, more pornography allegations, and just stuff that he said using his name while he's on these forums. And people otherwise wouldn't care. I mean, we're sexual beings. People have sex. People watch porn. It's not, it's part of what we do. But the fact that Mark Robinson is, yes, the black Nazi. Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's what we're gonna get into. But the fact that Mark Robinson is always spewing the narratives and the rhetoric that he is, basically saying that people shouldn't have sex at all unless they're ready to procreate, calling everybody a whore and a slut. Everybody's a slut. Women, just the most ridiculous things that he possibly can conjure in his mind. He says it, but he doesn't stand for any of that whatsoever. So we're gonna get into that, and we got a couple of other things. But let me go ahead and get rolling because again, I got some other stuff to do. Now let me see. Yeah, let's just before we get into the full story, let's go one by one just for some of the stuff that he said. Matter of fact, oh, but yeah, let's just start here, and then I'll get into the story on CNN on CNN's website. All right, here we go. Trump picked for North Carolina governor under pressure to withdraw over looming bombshell regarding activity on adult websites. And again, it's not just that he was there, but it's the stuff that he said while he was there because he's a weirdo and he's a hateful bigot, even in the whole nine. And look, Kamala, this is also dragging Trump down on the ticket. If Kamala wins North Carolina, it's over. This is going to absolutely help her win North Carolina. But at this point, I mean, Trump really doesn't have really any realistic path to victory. In the last couple of days, this dude, in the last week or so, Donald Trump was campaigning in California and New York. While he was in New York, he said, it hasn't been done in many decades. It hasn't been done for a long, long time, but we are going to win New York. No, you're not going to win New York. You don't have the slightest chance of winning New York or California. There's 50 days or so left until the election, and you're spending your time in states that you have no chance whatsoever of winning. So it continues to go the same way, to where every day Donald Trump seems determined to lose this election. But that's good news for us that his head is not in the game. But his head has never been in the game. It really, But let's go and get into this. Rumors are flying that a devastating story about North Carolina Lieutenant Governor and Republican gubernatorial nominee Mark Robinson is about to drop, and Donald Trump's presidential campaign is reportedly pressuring Robinson to withdraw from the race. Robinson is under pressure from staff and members of the Trump campaign to withdraw from the governor's race due to the nature of the story. And he said that he isn't going to do it. This is funny right here. When Trump endorsed Robinson at a rally in March, he called Mark Robinson Martin Luther King on steroids, better than Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King times two. I don't know. I guess just because he's black and Martin Luther King also was black, well, they're similar, I guess, even though they clearly don't stand for the same things whatsoever. But all black people are the same. Robinson is already an enormously controversial candidate who has been widely criticized for his rhetoric, which has included Holocaust denial, disparagement of Michelle Obama as a man, Barack Obama as a top ranking demon, and advancement of the conspiracy theory that the Rothschild family is one of the Bible's four horsemen of the apocalypse. Yeah, again, completely nuts. Just completely out of his mind. And a raging hypocrite on top of that. In a widely publicized speech earlier this year, Robinson submitted that quote, "We now find ourselves struggling with people who have evil intent. There's a time when we used to meet evil on the battlefield, and guess what we did to it? We killed it. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, what did we do? We flew to Japan and we killed the Japanese Army and Navy. We didn't argue and capitulate and talk about, well, maybe we shouldn't fight the Nazis that hard. No, they're bad. Kill them. Some liberal somewhere is going to say, that sounds awful. Too bad. Get mad. Get mad at me if you want to. Some folks need killing," he says. "It's time for somebody to say it. It's not a matter of vengeance. It's not a matter of being mean or spiteful. It's a matter of necessity," he concluded. "When you have wicked people doing wicked things, torturing and murdering and raping, it's time to call out those guys in green and go have them handled. Or those boys in blue and have them go handle it." Yeah, again, complete nutcase who's dragging down the ticket of North Carolina and is, probably going to be, uh, among other things, one of the reasons that Kamala ends up winning North Carolina. And again, she wins North Carolina. It is over. It is done, but it's already pretty much done. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got Benny from Denmark. What's going on? I'm doing well. Good to have you here. Good to have you here, brother. Kenny, what's going on? We got Kenny. We got Margarita in the building as well. And here he is saying that he's not going to drop out. So let's check that out real quick. And then we'll get into the juice of the story. We'll get into the bones and the meat. He's not dropping out.
Hey guys, Lieutenant Governor Robinson and your Republican nominee for governor as well, of course. Well, guys, the news media is at it again. My opponent is at it again. You all have seen the half-truths and outright lies of Josh Stein on these ads over and over again. And now a story leaked by him to CNN is appearing now. Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, those are not the words of Mark Robinson. You know my words, you know my character, and you know that I have been completely transparent in this race and before.
And indeed you have. Indeed you have. And the words that he says under his own name with his picture, so there's no denying that it's him, pretty much the same old shit that he's always saying. So it's funny to hear him say, you know my words, you know Mark Robinson. We do. We do indeed.
Folks, this race right now, Our opponents are desperate to shift the focus here from the substantive issues and focus on what you are concerned with to salacious tabloid trash. We cannot allow that to happen. And folks, we've seen this type of stuff in the past as well. Clarence Thomas famously once said he was the victim of a high-tech lynching. Well, it looks like Mark Robinson is too, by a man who refuses to stand on stage and debate me about the real issues that face you. Instead, they want to focus on salacious tabloid lies. We're not going to let them do that. We are staying in this race. We are in it to win it. And we know that with your help, we will. God bless you. And we will see you where? On the campaign trail.
You're going to lose. You're going to lose, and you're dragging down Trump's chances in that state. So now let's get into it. And again, it's not the fact that he was on these sites, and if it wasn't for his rhetoric, if it wasn't for his stances, nobody would really give a damn that he consumes pornographic material or any of that, because who doesn't? We're all sexual beings to varying degrees. Some people are more sexual than others, but all of us are, unless you're asexual, but that's a very, very small amount of the population. But again, it's his rhetoric. It's the way he behaves when he's the one who has a raging problem with this type of shit. So now let's get into it. I'm a black Nazi. North Carolina GOP nominee for governor made dozens of disturbing comments on porn forum. And again, it's just a continuation of the stuff that he says now. He does this shit now. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get into it. He referred to himself as a black Nazi, which, that's an oxymoron there. They'll use you until they get their way. Then you'll just be another one of the people on the other side. Despite a recent history of anti-transgender rhetoric, Robinson said he enjoyed watching transgender pornography. A review of archived messages found in which he also referred to himself as a perv. See, again, no one would care if it came out like, oh, he likes transgender pornography. Who cares? But the fact that that you're very transphobic, and that you spread hateful and dangerous rhetoric about the transgender community, well, then it becomes an issue, because it's like, oh, well, you're totally full of shit. These comments, which Robinson denies making, predate his entry into politics. Well, again, this may be true, but it's a continuation. He still says the same shit. So this kind of really isn't that big of a bombshell. It's just more shit that he does now. He never grew. And current stint as North Carolina's lieutenant governor. They were made under a username that CNN was able to identify as Robinson by matching a litany of biographical details and a shared email address between the two. Many of Mark's comments were gratuitously sexual and lewd in nature. They were made between 2008 and 2012 on Nude Africa, a pornographic website that includes a message board. The comments were made under the username Men Solder. I guess mini soldier is what that's supposed to be, a moniker Robinson used frequently online. Robinson listed his full name on his profile for Nude Africa, as well as an email address he used on numerous websites across the internet for decades. So here's some of this stuff now. I don't know if y'all can see this here. So this is the handle right here that they're showing that he's used across the internet. Like using like the same password type of shit. There he is. It's all over the place. I remember Black Planet. That shit was black. Yeah, I remember Black Planet. There we go. So we got him on Facebook, Pinterest, Black Planet, YouTube, Discus, all of them, Mini Soldier. He has that username on all of them. He's like, no, I didn't say that. And he got his, well, let's get into it. And of course, again, it's in contrast to his public stances. Publicly, Robinson has fiercely argued that people should use bathrooms only that correspond to the gender they were assigned at birth. He's also said transgender women should be arrested for using women's restrooms. Quote, if you're a man on Friday night and all of a sudden Saturday you feel like a woman and you want to go in the women's bathroom in the mall, you will be arrested or whatever we got to do to you, Robinson said at a campaign rally in February of 2024. We're going to protect our women. Yet privately under the username Mini Soldier on Nude Africa, Robinson graphically described his own sexual arousal as an adult From the memory of secretly peeping on women in public gym showers as a 14-year-old, Robinson recounted the story as a memory he said he still fantasized about. Quote, I came to a spot that was a dead end, but had two big vent covers over it. It just so happened it overlooked the showers. I sat there for about an hour and watched as several girls came in and showered. He wrote this on Nude Africa. CNN is not okay, well, they're not publishing the sexual. Well, they don't really need to publish that. I went peeping again the next morning, but after that, I went back. The ladder was locked. So those two times were the only times I got to do it. Ah, memories. Yeah. Again, why are you saying this publicly? Like, oh, I'm a creep. I'm a peeping Tom. You could have kept that to yourself. But and then here's another comment that he said on these forums. I like watching tranny on girl porn. That's fucking hot. It takes the man out while leaving the man in, Robinson wrote. And yeah, I'm a perv too. Whenever this stuff happens, it's like the least surprising thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like people who are like ragingly anti-gay. Oh, look at that. They're closeted. People who are ragingly anti-trans. Oh, look at that. They like it. A story as old as time, as old as humanity itself. In an interview on CNN on Thursday, he said that he didn't do this. This is not us. These are not our words. And why is he saying our? And this is not anything that is characteristic of me. He said, I'm not going to get into the minutia of how somebody manufactured this, these salacious tabloid lies. Don't nobody need to manufacture nothing like this because you still say it why would this be manufactured? If something was manufactured, it would probably be against someone who has more of a clean public image. Your public image is not clean, and you're not doing well in this in the race anyway. But he said he's not going to drop out. But again, what difference would that really make for him to drop out now? And the only reason the Trump campaign is asking him to drop out is because, again, if Kamala wins North Carolina, it's done. It's over. The end. And they're like, oh no, this is going to drag us down. But meanwhile, Donald Trump's campaigning in New York and saying that he's going to win New York, even though he has absolutely no hope of winning that state. So, you know, I don't really. It's a little too late for him to drop out now. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? We are not getting out of this race. There are people who are counting on us to win this race. Well, you're not going to win it. Campaigning for lieutenant governor in 2020, Robinson advocated for a complete abortion ban without exceptions. He later expressed regret in 2022 for paying for his now wife to have an abortion in the 80s. So no exceptions whatsoever. I mean, how again? It just this he's dumb. He's a dumb guy, bigoted, hateful, self-hating, and very very dumb. People should only, he's against contraception because people should only have sex when they're trying to make babies. Like, okay, man. All right. Now campaigning for governor, he says a so-called heartbeat bill that would ban abortion when a heartbeat is detected approximately 6 weeks, with exception for rape, incest, and health of the mother. So 6 weeks. So basically just a straight ban anyway. But writing as mini soldier on Nude Africa in 2010, Robinson said he did not care about a celebrity having an abortion. I don't care. I just want to see the sex tape. He wrote in another thread, commenters considered whether to believe the story of a woman who said she was raped by her taxi driver while intoxicated. In response, Robinson wrote, quote, and the moral of the story is don't fuck a white bitch. Again, this is just like he's this is he still says shit like this now. 10 plus years later, he hasn't grown or matured in any way. Robinson, who would become North Carolina's first black governor if elected, also repeatedly maligned civil rights leader Martin Luther King, attacking him in such intense terms that a user accused him of being a white supremacist. Quote, get that fucking commie bastard off the National Mall, Robinson wrote about the dedication of the memorial to King in Washington, D.C. I'm not in the KKK. They don't let blacks join. If I was in the KKK, I would have called him Martin Lucifer Coon. Okay, again, he's just. I mean, this type of stuff is like a desperate cry for attention by any means necessary. Like he can't get attention by being a normal human being. He has to get it this way, and he just triples down on it because he basks in the negative attention that he gets. He loves it. All right, let's see. Robinson's history of controversial remarks, including mocking school shooting survivors, his past support for total abortion bans without exceptions for rape or incest, and disparaging the civil rights movement, have been a consistent theme in the race. Recent public polling shows Robinson is losing to Stein. All right, again, he uses the same name all over the place. We just looking at some of the evidence right here. Hold on, I'm just skimming through it. Robinson has frequently used the username Mini Soldier elsewhere on the internet. On X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. He used the username on Facebook, and we just saw on YouTube and all these other platforms that he used. Uncommon phrases. Frog's fat ass, frog's fat behind. He okay, so now they got, yeah, this was you. Here we go with the mini soldier. I don't give a frog's fat ass, where that video came from. And here he is under his regular shit. I don't give a frog's fat ass. I really don't give a frog's fat behind. I don't give two shakes of my black ass about them Mexican. Here he is on one of the forums. I don't give two shakes of my black ass about them Mexicans kicking the shit out of them damn turkeys. Just kill them, clean them, and get them mofos on the truck so they can be at the store by Thanksgiving. And here he goes. Here, we don't give two shakes of our behinds. Here's more shit, Gaga Maggot, whatever that is, here on the forum, here on his regular stuff. Dunderhead on his forum, Dunderhead on this shit. Slavery is not bad, he says. Oh God. Oh, we are okay. So we're not even done. In the pornographic forums, Robinson revealed his unvarnished thoughts on issues such as race, gender, and abortion. We already went over some of that. Writing in a forum discussing black Republicans in October of 2010, Robinson stated, unprovoked, I'm a black Nazi. The same month, Robinson wrote in another post that he supported the return of slavery. Well, wouldn't that make your black ass a slave too? Again, he's just an extreme provocateur. And since he's in off well, since he's in politics, obviously he poses as more of a threat because he can pass laws and have influence. But this dude, he acts like a little kid who just really wants their parents to pay attention to him. So they do dumb shit, they do bad things to get that attention. Negative attention is better than no attention. I mean, this is really what it looks like. Again, like what slavery is not bad. Some people need to be slaves. I wish they would bring slavery back. I would certainly buy a few. Again, like I mean, like what is this? Like this is just you're just trying to provoke people. That's all this is. Because again, if slavery came back, your black ass would be a slave. Because that's who were slaves. In March of 2012, Robinson wrote that he preferred the former leader of Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler, over the leadership in Washington during the administration of Barack Obama. Quote, I'd take Hitler over any of the shit that's in Washington right now. Again, you're just provoking people because do you really believe that? I don't know. Like maybe he does, but if everything you say publicly is shit like this, like he thinks it boosts him or something. Oh God. Okay. In a series of 7 posts in October of 2011, Robinson disparaged Martin Luther King in such intense terms, calling him a commie bastard, worse than a maggot, a whole fucking phony, and a huckster. Yeah, he Martin Luther King was a huckster, but not Donald Trump, and whose ass you can't stop kissing. Calling Muslims little rag. Okay, anti-Semitic slur, Heb or whatever, Hebe or some shit like that. The show itself was a bunch of Heb written liberal bullshit. Then talking about Muslims, he called them little rag-headed bastards and said that if Muslims took over, liberals would be the first ones to be beheaded. Yeah, I mean this is what he does. But again, like this is just I this isn't like much of a rocking scandal. Like this will be a huge I mean, this would be a massive scandal if like his public image wasn't already exactly that. Like if it was like he had a clean image and then all of a sudden this stuff gets discovered. But this is just more of the same. Yes, Luke, we found the OG of incels. That's exactly what we just did. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like this is like this is just who he is. It's to no surprise whatsoever. All right, let's move on. That's what we got there. Let's move on to some Donald Trump shit. He went on Fox and did a crazy interview. We'll look at that soon, but um I think this is an old clip. I think yeah, this is a bit older, but it's going around. It's going around a bit now. So let's check this out real quick. They're not humans, they're animals. And this is from April 2nd. But he's just like he's making this much more alive. He this is all his campaign is at this point.
The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals.
They're not humans, they're animals. The people coming from other countries are animals. All right, what we got now? What we got now? We'll get into that. We'll get into that interview in a few. We're gonna roll through this because I got a phone call to make. Oh, we got Queen Fritz in the building. What's going on? Yes, I will. I'll be streaming this evening. I moved it up to 8. I got a few things to do, but I will be streaming again this evening. So we're gonna run through this stuff pretty quickly. All right, here we go. What did I just do? Okay. Hannity scolds Speaker Johnson for getting his budget bill voted down by GOP colleagues. That's your own party.
Mr. Speaker, why would anybody be against proof of citizenship, voter ID, signature verification, chain of custody controls for mail-in ballots, updated voter rolls? Why would they be against partisan observers in every precinct in the country watching the vote all day, the voting all day, and the vote counting all night and into the next day if needed? Why are they against those integrity measures?
These are great questions, Sean, and they need to be asked. The play that we ran tonight was the right play. It was the right fight for the American people. It's the one they demand and deserve. I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, Congress has two important responsibilities, obviously, upon us right now. Fund the government and ensure the security of our elections. I've been traveling the country nonstop, done campaign events in 206 cities across 39 states so far, without exception, Sean, in every venue, everywhere. When we go to audience questions, the first or second question is about election security. So the bill tonight would have accomplished both those objectives. We would have funded the government and secured the election. And I'm very disappointed it didn't pass. We ran the right play. We came a little bit short of the goal line. So now we'll go back to the playbook. We'll draw it up. We're already hearing good ideas from our members. And we got time to fix this, and we'll get it done.
Let me ask you, you keep saying it's the right play, and you can't get every Republican to vote for it. That's your own party. What are their objections, and how do you get them on board?
Well, look, there's a range of objections. Some people look for the perfect piece of legislation. Some people are philosophically opposed to continuing resolutions. Look, I'm one of those. I don't like this, but everybody needs to understand the reason that 12 separate appropriations bills were not ready for passage is because Chuck Schumer and the Senate have not done their job. They have not put one appropriation bill on the floor for passage. So we're far apart between the two chambers. There's nothing that we can negotiate because they didn't put anything on the table. And we have the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. So we're pushed into this scenario, into this dilemma, because of the Senate's inability or unwillingness to do their job. Chuck Schumer's to blame for this. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and you did make the comment that you're not going to be rolled by the Senate, which I like to hear. And then it just brings up the question of, well, okay, well, even if you increase your majority, what does this mean for you running for Speaker if Republicans hold the House and hopefully even add to their majority?
It's interesting to hear Sean Hannity being this critical with Mike Johnson, but when it comes to Donald Trump, he has absolutely no criticism at all.
Does this hurt you in any way?
No, look, this is part of the process. I mean, we have a small margin, and that's why we're laser focused on growing that majority. It's critically important. I want everybody to remember this. When Donald Trump is elected president, if the Democrats have the majority in the House, they will impeach him on the first day of office. That everybody knows what will happen here. We have got to grow the majority, and I'm absolutely convinced we're going to, Sean. I'm very bullish about the election cycle. In fact, if you go to growthemajority.com, you'll see all of our reasons for hope. We have an extraordinary stable of candidates that are going to flip these blue seats to red, and our incumbents are going to be reelected. We're going to be in the driver's seat in January for the beginning of the new Congress, and we're going to have Republican control of the Senate.
Wow.
We're going to grow the House majority, and Donald Trump will be back in the White House.
I mean, I guess he should be. Well, I don't know if he should be, but I guess he's, just saying this because he's on Fox News and he wants to give Republicans hope. But he's just like, oh yeah, Trump's going to win. We're going to get back the House. We're going to get the Senate. We're just going to win everything. There's really no problems on the horizon whatsoever. Don't worry about it at all.
Why are Republicans so reluctant to ever shut down the government? Why don't they just shut it down? Because, let's be honest, when they do shut down the government, it's not really a shutdown. Non-essential workers get a furlough. They usually get back pay. And essential workers keep working. Our armed forces keep working.
If the government shut down, then it would be because of Republicans, and they would get blamed for it. So that's why they don't want to shut down, because it would be a complete disaster, and it would be because of Republicans.
Security checks, et cetera, that keeps going out. Essential services continue. And then people in the end up getting a paid vacation. Why are people so reluctant against that?
Well, if you're a military family and a spouse is deployed and you're at home with children, you rely on that paycheck to come in. You rely on getting paid on time. If you're a TSA agent or a Border Patrol agent, we need them to be doing their job and not going on furlough and not having people not showing up for work because they're not getting checks. But look, I don't think it's going to come to a shutdown. I believe we can get this job done. Like I said.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, it's not in anybody's interest for there to be a government shutdown, but it's really not in Republicans' interest for that to happen. So they're probably going to do everything they can to prevent it. Because again, if the government gets shut down, then it's just going to add fuel to the fire of why Republicans should not be at the helm of anything. So I'm sure he's like, "Ugh!" He's not going to act. He doesn't have the personality for that anyway, but he's not going to show it on TV. But you already know. You already know that there's no benefit to them having that. All right, let's see what's up. Now we get into, hold on, let's see. My bad, y'all. I gotta get there. All right, here we go. All right, so they're spinning the, because Trump and Vance won't stop talking about, the Haitians eating cats and dogs BS. They won't knock that off. So they're now calling it, just like the alternative facts, he's highlighting problems. Because as JD Vance said, if I have to make stories up to highlight issues, I'm going to do that, Dana.
Now you have this added fact that Donald Trump now promises that he's going to be going to Springfield, Ohio in the next 2 weeks to continue to lean on what the Republican governor has said is a bunch of garbage in terms of these conspiracy theories about immigrants eating pets. Why would you advise him to go and do that?
Absolutely, I would advise him to go because what's going on in Springfield, Ohio, what's going on in Aurora, Colorado, it's not just about a specific incident. It's about what we see these unchecked immigration doing to these communities as people are
No, it
fighting
definitely
for
has
housing,
to do with
fighting
specific
for
things,
services.
Mark. Come on. We are. I have officially entered the realm of gaslighting. I have good friends and analysts now coming out over the past 2 days telling me what is reality is not reality. Mark, the governor says it's garbage. They say what happened there there are no pets being eaten in Springfield, so it is an embodiment or a representation of absolutely zero.
Well, you do have a community of 60,000 people that have had 15 to 20,000 Haitian immigrants dumped into that community, and you have residents there who are worried. They are facing reduced services. They are seeing their parks overrun. You do have there's discussions about people who are squatting on people's yards. There's a lot of problems there. Look at what's going on in Aurora, Colorado, where you have Venezuelan gangs taking over apartment complexes. These are very real consequences, and a lot of very small, middle-sized communities are struggling under it.
So just
okay, that is Kate.
Karen, you definitely respond, but are you happy then, in a political sense, even though it is probably dangerous for the community potentially, that Donald Trump continues to lean on this?
No, it's disgusting and shameful, and it is endangering the lives of children and families. Shame on him and shame on J.D. Vance, because here's the truth. Nobody dumped people on Springfield, Ohio. Businesses in Ohio had job shortages. They were recruiting Haitian migrants who are here in this country legally to come to help fill what are menial labor jobs that people who live there didn't want to do. That's what happened. What they need, as the mayor himself said, is help, not hate, not the KKK showing up, not the Proud Boys showing up. And let's be very clear about what Trump is doing. This actually has nothing to do with a conversation about immigration reform. This is a political tactic. We've seen it cycle after cycle leading up to an election where you demonize, dehumanize, and lie about migrants to scare people. But the thing is, if you stop, what you realize is you're not hearing real solutions from Donald Trump. What you're hearing, again, is lies and hate, but you're not hearing, as the VP said, asked in that clip he showed, okay, so you're going to do mass deportations. How are you going to do that? Are cops going to go house to house and just pull people out of their homes? How are they going to decide who's here legally and who's here not legally? Is it going to be deportation camps? I'm telling you, like, it's a disaster. And who's going to pay for it, by the way?
Start with the criminals. Start with the criminals and the gang members. That's what they're going to do. That's what the American people want.
Right. People don't want criminal people. People don't like criminals. No. I think polling would suggest people don't like criminals mostly. But you're going to have to define what a criminal is, because some of the immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, are being wrongfully labeled criminals by Donald Trump.
It's a fact that, look, there are so many communities out there that are struggling to keep up with services, whether it's New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, wherever. Now we're seeing it going into smaller communities. People are worried. They're seeing their tax dollars going to support illegal immigrants or immigrant communities that are in their communities while their services are being reduced. Their schools are being filled with folks. Their students aren't able to learn. They can't go to parks. They do see an increase in criminal activity in their homes, traffic problems in Springfield, Ohio.
You know, at the end of the day, the Southern strategy has, it's still alive, but it's really, in a lot of ways, ran its course, because the Republican Party would not be able to win any elections nationally if it wasn't for their racism, because Republicans do nothing but protect corporate profits. That's all they do. We're going to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. We're not going to replace it with nothing so that private health insurance companies can make more money. They try, they're right now trying to raise prescription drug prices because it'll make pharmaceutical companies more money. I mean, that's how they go about things. Cut taxes for the wealthiest people in the country, cut taxes, cut regulations for corporations. And the way that they get people to vote for them because most people who don't benefit from these policies is their racism. You know, there's just racism. That's the only reason that these broke ass white people in the middle of butt fuck nowhere will vote for them, because they're like, oh, the immigrants are coming. They're coming to take over your towns. They're coming to take over everything, your way of life. If it wasn't for that, they would never win anything. But that shit has ran its course. Not completely, but it's just old. It's just old.
Ohio. All of these things are documented and real, and by
stop.
Donald Trump highlighting the problems. That's what we're talking about here. Kamala Harris wants to let more in.
No.
I
No,
don't think
that's
it's highlight-
not Mark.
just on a factual basis.
No.
It's not highlighting a problem. It's not, because
Lying.
factually it's not happening in Springfield. Go find your problem
And-
elsewhere then, if you want to have the
Right.
factoid. That's my point. It's not, Mark, that there isn't problems with immigration in this country right now. Democrats and Republicans agree with that, but it's finding examples that don't exist. That is the problem
Right.
here, which is why I'm saying strategically, it seems.
There are 12 million
It's a
people here
choice.
illegally, many of them unvetted. We've got
So
people
you
that
think
we've
it's
got young
well,
women who've been
Mark,
murdered
you at least think
in
it's 12 million, not
communities.
22 million that Donald Trump is now talking about, right?
I can show 12. It could be up to 20. Who knows? But I know at least that there are 12.
But I think, can we get back?
Final
But I
thought.
think what the issue is, we need comprehensive immigration reform that includes a path to citizenship for those people who are here legally, who
So
are here
amnesty.
with temporary status. How do we decide? Mark, stop. Then we also need to take care of our DACA kids. We need border security. We can have all of these things and we can have a conversation about them without dehumanizing, demonizing, and lying about people and scaring people for. And
You know, and again, so you know, we know and that the Haitian immigrants are in Springfield because they were recruited to work. They're there legally. But think about like how people, this is in Ohio, people who are in Iowa, people who are in North and South Dakota, you know, conservatives who are nowhere near this town. They're like, oh, do you see what's happening in Springfield? All of the Haitian immigrants are taking over the town. How this doesn't really impact these people's lives in any way. Like it doesn't. It's just racism. That's what they want to hear. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. We got Dragon Ball Soup in the building. What's going on, brother? How you doing? You know, you live in North Dakota and you're like, oh, they're taking over towns. The Venezuelan gangs are taking over towns in Colorado. I live 800 miles away from Colorado. This is the most important thing to me. But yeah, this shit is just stupid. This is ridiculous. Fox Nation gives Vivek Ramaswamy his own show featuring provocative dinner table conversations. This is what he wanted. You know, he's getting what he wanted. Vivek Ramaswamy has a busy week, which includes the debut of a new Fox Nation show and a town hall in Springfield, Ohio, centered on immigration. Oh boy. Truths with Vivek Ramaswamy will debut on Sunday on Fox Nation, and a condensed version of the show will also air at 10 p.m. the same night on Fox News. The 5-part series features Ramaswamy, okay, it's a series, hosting panel discussions with his wife, Apurva Ramaswamy, journalist Matt Taibbi, physicist Steve Koonin, and Rabbi Shmuley. Oh God, he is I remember seeing him debating Jank a few times. He is Rabbi Shmuley is something else. That ought to be a complete hell. Won't be tuning into that. We'll probably make content out of it, but other than that, no thank you. The group will discuss ongoing issues such as the Israel-Hamas war and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Oh, well, you know which direction that's going to go. Quote, today, conservatives know. Hold on, is this Vivek saying this? Today, conservatives know what we're up against. But what exactly do we stand for? To answer that question, we need to talk to every American, not just those who agree with us. That's the subject of my new book, Truths, The Future of America First. And I enjoyed partnering with Fox Nation to host provocative dinner table conversations that we rarely have in our country anymore. Yeah, I'm sure that y'all are gonna, you know, say a bunch of stuff that we haven't heard in forever. I'm sure. I bet. Fox Nation President Lauren Peterson Said Ramaswamy will offer thoughtful and unique perspective on the state of American politics after his meteoric rise over the last year. Ramaswamy, once a presidential hopeful, has also taken part in a Q&A with the Philadelphia audience for a special called Just Ask Vivek Ramaswamy, which will release on Fox Nation on Friday ahead of his Truth's premiere. He's going to be in Springfield maybe tonight or at some point on Thursday evening town hall. And I think Trump's going there too. I don't know if they'll be there together, but Trump's going to be in Springfield soon. All right, now here we go. We got Brett Favre. He could have just shut up, but no. Former NFL quarterback Brett Favre lashes out at Taylor Swift, accusing her of using her influence for foul reasons. Well, I bet that if Taylor Swift would have endorsed Donald Trump, Brett Favre wouldn't have thought this. Or, because really Republicans are just jealous that their celebrities are like not top tier. They're mad that liberal celebrities are more popular and more successful. That's all it is. But says the guy who steals welfare money from his state. That's such a great guy. The 11-time Pro Bowler and 3-time All-Pro is known to be a supporter of former President Donald Trump and has previously endorsed him. Again, he can endorse him. He's just dumb. He's just a dumb dude. You can endorse people, but she can't. He's since taken a shot at Swift, a recently endorsed Democratic candidate and Vice President Kamala Harris, following Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes informing everyone that he wouldn't endorse a candidate. Good take by Mahomes, he wrote in a tweet. I see a lot of celebs trying to influence their audience instead of letting the people think for themselves. If the best choice for them ain't clear and they're easily swayed by their favorite pop artist, it's not going to be a good thing. Yeah, again, says the very dumb dude who endorsed Donald Trump before. And again, if Taylor Swift would have endorsed Donald Trump, then he wouldn't be saying this. Speaking of, his wife loves Donald Trump, so he probably likes Donald Trump too. But I don't know because he won't do it. But his wife certainly can't keep it to herself. Brett Favre was destroyed in the comments, as he should be. So he says, hold on, what we got? The former quarterback has been called out over the allegations claiming he improperly received $1.1 million from a nonprofit organization that misused welfare money in 2020. Quote, that's right, real patriots like yourself steal welfare money, one fan wrote. Does this include you coming out to say you're voting for Trump, or it's no different than Taylor endorsing Harris? Weird take. Again, you're just dumb. It is unpatriotic to steal money from poor people. Stop acting like anything you say should be taken to heart. What about you putting yourself before all and stealing from the poor? Again, they're just because all of their celebrities are a bunch of losers. all their celebrities are lame. Oh yeah, exactly. Trump thought Nikki Jam was a girl. He's like, she's hot. She's hot. All right, let's see. Now we got Matt Walsh with a very dumb take. So let's check out this take real quick. We're gonna keep on running through this pretty quickly because I got other stuff I got to do. All right, where are we? Here we are. He says, taking a sick day as an adult should be embarrassing. All right, well, let's see what he has to say.
A side note on the sick day thing is this will be unpopular, especially with younger people, but you shouldn't be using sick days. Okay, I've used sick days maybe twice in 7 years, and in both of those cases, because I lost my voice and I couldn't speak. You can't blame me for that. It's impossible to do a podcast when you can't speak.
Nope, people shouldn't be taking sick days, because if you can't work that day, if there's something going on that makes it impossible for you to do your job, just do it anyway. I mean, I know I took sick days before, but it was only because I couldn't do my job those days. Okay, Matt. Well, what if you have a sick day? what if you need a sick day because you have the flu, or because you have the sweats or the shits? You don't want to be in the office having to take a shit every 2 seconds. I mean, what are you talking about? Like, huh? I mean, when I take my sick days, it makes sense. But oh, these people are so stupid.
And even then, I still, and anyone who has been watching the show for a while, you know this. I still came into the office and recorded a video with subtitles when I lost my voice, if you recall. But generally speaking, again, I know this is unpopular, but sick days are for children, okay? They're for kids in school who are trying to stay home so they don't have to take a test that day.
Sick days are for children. That's why I've taken sick days when I couldn't work. Oh, they're so dumb. Like these people, like why even debate them? Like for what? You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I guess you can get a lot of views and it's good for the content, but other than that, it's like, really, man, really? We got Mike Boy in the building. My brother, what's going on? Thank you. Oh, we got Mike Boy with the 12 months and Fritza with the 12 months. Thank you, everybody. It's anniversary time. Yes, indeed. Thank y'all for the support. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? Because it means a lot. If it wasn't for y'all, shit, I'd just be some lonely dude speaking to nobody. You know what I mean? But we making progress, and I'm doing my best, and we got more shit coming. So thank y'all. Thank you for everything. Now back to this idiot.
Like, with rare exception, taking a sick day as an adult should be pretty embarrassing for you. Calling your boss and saying, "Sorry, I can't come in today. My tummy hurts," is humiliating. You need to be at work, okay? Adults don't have time to be sick. They don't have time for it. That's
Adults don't have time to be sick. I mean, what do you even say to shit like this? What do you mean adults don't have time to be sick? That's not how this works. When you get special types of bacteria or special types of viruses in your body, you get sick. Sometimes people have cancer. People have all types of issues, man. And especially, you took sick days because I couldn't speak that day and you literally can't do it. Well, what if you have a tummy ache and it's so bad that you can't focus on anything? I deal with it, except for when it's me.
I was just having this conversation with my kids recently, actually, because I was kind of under the weather, and my kids were aware of that. And they said,
right, exactly.
So why are you going to work? I said, because I don't have time to be sick. Okay. I don't know. I can't be. I don't have time. But you are sick. Yeah, but I don't have time for it. So it's like I'm operating as though I'm not.
How brave of you, Matt. You're so strong. You're so strong. Oh God, what an idiot. What an idiot. All right, let's get into, before we get to this Trump interview that we're going to go through, let's check out some of the stuff from this rate cut. The Fed just cut interest rates a little bit. What it means for student loan borrowers. Let's check this out. Collectively, Americans owe more than $1 trillion in student loans. Wednesday's interest rate cut and the expected longer-term rate cutting cycle will have far-reaching ripple effects for the economy and for consumers. That includes providing a slice of relief to some student loan borrowers. The Fed began cutting interest rates from a 2-decade high Wednesday. That will make it cheaper for consumers looking to borrow or repay some of their debts. The Fed funds rate is like a domino effect, and that as soon as that one falls, all the other ones are all tied to the fall too. Borrowers carrying credit card, auto, or student loan debt with higher rates may be able to seize the opportunity to save a bit on their monthly payments. Borrowers with private student loans carrying variable interest rates could see slightly lower minimum payments on their billing statements within 1 or 2 months, Foster said. The exact impact may depend on the lender. Other private loans have a fixed rate, and like federal borrowers, those loan payments won't be impacted by the Fed decision unless borrowers choose to refinance. Private loan borrowing makes up 7% of the outstanding student loan debt. According to Bankrate, average private student interest rates range from around 4% to around 17%. Damn. 17% interest rate. You ain't never paying that shit off. The total average student loan debt with private loans included could be as high as $40,681. When is it smart to refinance your private student loans? Those with variable rate private student loans may choose to refinance to a fixed rate loan if lower rates come. But as Foster said, borrowers should do the math before making a decision. Uh, so if you got student loan debts, maybe it'll help you out a little bit right now. A little bit of a little less interest rates on what you got to pay back. Maybe instead of paying it back in 40 years, you can pay it back in 35. You know what I'm saying? And we got, hold on, do we need to go over this right here? Yes, might as well. We might as well since I got it up. Since I got it up, we gonna go over it. For credit card interest rates. Soaring credit card rates and inflation have contributed to the economic pinch many everyday Americans have felt over the past few years as household budget strained, and views of the economy soured. The average credit card interest rate currently stands at 20.7 20.78%. Sheesh. Close to the highest on record and up from roughly 16% in 2022. The current average interest rate for store branded retail credit cards is even higher at a record peak of 30.45%. Credit card delinquencies have also been on the rise. The Fed's short term interest rates are closely tied to credit card interest rates. Most cardholders can expect for their rates to fall by the same percentage of the Fed's cut. In Wednesday's case, half a percentage point within 2 or 3 statement cycles, Greg McBride said, who works with bank rates. While one rate cut on its own will have a limited impact, this is widely expected to be the first of several cuts through the rest of the year and into 2025. Damn! 30% and then some for store branded retail credit cards and 20.78% in general for the average. All right, let's see do we need to do this? Yeah, we might as well. We're gonna keep on zooming through it. Because again, I got other stuff I gotta do. We got fake name in the building. What's going on? Good to have you here. Well, we got another conservative conspiracy, because they can't accept that Donald Trump sucks and people don't like him. Again, this is a host of one of the most watched news networks, quote unquote, in the country. Sean Diddy Combs' arrest is a conspiracy to take focus off of Donald Trump's second assassination attempt. Yep, everybody coalesced with each other. Everybody came together so that we could put P. Diddy in jail for the stuff that he's done, for the things that he did, just so that there could be less attention paid to the second assassination attempt, because it's not as if we live in a digital age and people can pay attention to whatever they feel like. It's not as if, again, people have been talking about the second assassination attempt. Chris Cuomo, he was talking about how, Democrats have got to stop calling Donald Trump a threat. What he said about Joe Biden said, Joe Biden was like, there's no place for political violence in America. And Chris Cuomo was like, who says that? That's not enough. Joe Biden should be doing much more than that. Like, bro, people are talking about this. But again, they just can't accept the fact that Donald Trump fucking sucks and that people don't like him. So it's got to be something. They can't accept that they made a bad investment. That's all that is. The timing of the P. Diddy arrest, please. They must have had the P. Diddy arrest on the shelf, waiting to take it off the shelf for when they needed it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They, this massively wealthy man, they just had it on the shelf. That's all it was, so that they could specifically take attention away. Okay, because that would have done it. It's just pure desperation. It's like you know, the when Kamala did her interview with CNN, that was going to blow it. That was going to change everything. Didn't happen. When she did the debate, oh, now people will see Trump's going to turn it around. Trump made a historical fool of himself at that debate. Didn't happen. Every day there's something where people are finally going to see that Kamala's incompetent and Donald Trump is the man. He's the guy that we need in charge. You know, that's not happening. So, oh, and also keep in mind, Trump's first assassination attempt, where he actually got grazed by the bullet, that didn't move anybody in his favor at all. People didn't care. People stopped talking about it. So, yeah. So this is what they said. Don't you find it ironic, Miranda, that once again they take that same strategy out, and that is change the conversation? Bartiromo asked Australian columnist Miranda Devine. The timing of the P. Diddy arrest, please. They must have had the P. Diddy arrest on the shelf, waiting to take it off the shelf for when they needed it. And yesterday, boy, oh boy, did they need it, because the questions were spiking everywhere as far as how it is possible that another assassination attempt happened, that another would-be assassin was within a couple hundred yards of President Trump. As we're all asking these questions, boom, they take P. Diddy in, and now we're all talking about that. Take it off the front page. This is the strategy over and over again. I saw right through it as soon as it happened. Okay, this again. You're just flailing uh because you're losing. Like, what do you mean? That's one of the, like, what do you even say to that? What do you even say? Oh, we got Lady F and T. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Indeed, indeed. But yeah, nah, this shit is wild, isn't it? But yeah, that's all it was, you know. They was gonna let him go free, but then they was like, nah. And the other thing too, it's not true that no one has tried to assassinate Kamala or Joe Biden. They just have gotten caught. There have been attempts. They didn't actually get grazed, but you know, anybody can go on Google and look up the Secret Service and the FBI stopping attempts on their life. There, I mean, people with the positions that they're in, it's somebody somewhere is always plotting some shit like that, which is a lot of why the Secret Service exists. Um, right, exactly. They wasted the P. Diddy situation on something. Because again, in this go round, like, the dude didn't even shoot at Trump. He got caught. He was sitting there. I think he was sitting there for 12 hours, but he never actually took a shot. And the Secret Service agents ended up catching him before he did that. So there really wasn't that much to talk about other than, oh damn, Trump. You know, Trump may need some beefed up security. But yeah, they're just flailing. That's all this is. Now we're gonna get into one more thing, and then we're gonna check out this interview with Trump, and then I got some stuff I got to do. All right. 40% of Infrastructure Act funds announced. Another $720 billion remains to be spent under the 5-year law, according to the Department of Transportation. Nearly 3 years into the 5-year law, 40% of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act's funds have been announced, indicating progress is still lagging, according to a fact sheet the Department of Transportation released Wednesday. It shows more than 60,000 construction projects are advancing with IIJA money, which is the Infrastructure and Jobs Act. It was the IIJA. The $1.2 trillion federal Infrastructure and Jobs Act, Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which President Joe signed into law in 2021, includes $550 billion in new money. Announced funding captured from agency press releases is preliminary and non-binding, whereas awarded funding represents actual obligations. So we'll get into where this money is going and what's being built. More than $480 billion of the IIJA has been announced, a 20% increase from $400 billion over 40,000 projects in November, according to the Department of Transportation. That's up about 6% from 56,000 projects dispersed in May. So again, now we're looking at 60,000 more construction projects, which is equates to hundreds of thousands of jobs. All right. Much of the law, and Republicans will vote against stuff like this, and then they'll take credit for it. Like, they vote against infrastructure, and then they're like, and then they try to say, "Oh, this infrastructure bill brought 20,000 jobs to my district," but you voted against it. They do this. They do that routinely. President Trump indicated that he would defund some initiatives such as clean energy programs, of course. And I mean, Republicans are always doing shit like that. All right. So per the Department of Transportation, funding has been announced for 10,200 bridge projects, 1,100 airport projects, 500 port and waterway projects, 170 rail projects, 11,200 additional public transit projects. In addition, more than 175,000 miles of roadway are being updated thanks to the law, and 1,400 communities are improving road safety for people walking, biking, driving, and driving. And this is some of the stuff we'll go over tonight. Not like the Department of Transportation, but just we'll be looking at like where budget money actually goes, how it gets allocated, who gets it, how people can get it through grants and stuff like that. Because there's actually, well, I mean, not that y'all don't know, but a lot of the rhetoric around how the government doesn't do anything is just not true. Does the government need to do a better job? Always. But stuff like this happens, and this is stuff that Democrats deliver. More things like this, because again, this stuff equates to hundreds of thousands of jobs. So our duty is to get more progressive politicians in there so that this shit can get beefed up even more. And more, well, equally as importantly for foreign policy type of stuff. If we don't get more progressive politicians in office, then like our military industrial complexes, nothing's going to change. So there are many reasons why we need better politicians, but the Democratic Party is really the only available outlet for us to do any of this shit. Now let's get into this interview. Let's get into this crazy bonkers interview. We got Mara in the building. What's going on, sister? How you doing? All right, now let's get into this, and then I gotta log off because I got some stuff to do. Donald Trump went on Greg Gutfeld. Let's just watch it. Look at the greatest, most gorgeous episode ever. It's like they're slightly making fun of Donald Trump.
Thank you. All right. First of all, I would like to apologize to tonight's audience and the viewers at home. We will not be airing the Steve Doocy cooking segment tonight. We apologize to Mr. Doocy, but you'll still be able to get his new book, Cooking with Crisco, for free. Instead, we have a very special show tonight, so let's welcome our guest. She's still quite humorous with a fetus in her uterus. New York Times best-selling author, publisher, contributor, captain.
Why does he have he's not funny at all. Like, and it's not even like hating on him. Like, Greg Gutfeld is not funny. So I don't know why he has a comedy show that you know, they have these fake laugh tracks and shit with.
She's from San Francisco, but still appreciates indoor plumbing. Co-host of Outnumbered, Emily Campagno. His deltoid can deflect an asteroid. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion, Tyrus. And he loves Diet Coke, but hates the woke, choosing this insanity over Sean Hannity. Let's crank it up to 11 for President 45 and 47. The man who at 6'2", fighting out of the red corner from Queens, New York, the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. There you go. So, Mr. P, how's your golf game?
Well, haven't been thinking about it too much lately.
Yes, you have.
I always said golf is a very dangerous game.
It really is. It really is, especially if they're playing with you.
Yeah, it's true. That's
what? That was a mean joke.
Pretty sad.
Did you? If they had told you that the shooter was there, would you have tried to take him out with your 3-wood?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. If I knew. Actually, the Secret Service did a great job. They saw the barrel of a gun, big gun.
Yeah.
And it came out through bushes. And how many people would see that? First, you know, he really was very exceptional to have done it. And we've been going through a lot of it. We're getting very good at it, but I don't want to say that too loudly because we don't want to bring any jinxes along, Tyrus. Right? But it's
I mean, at least he could have yelled 4.
Yeah.
This is not a good thing to have practice at.
No.
Like, you're getting really good at stopping
No.
assassinations of Donald Trump. It's great. But I want to ask you, so Kamala Harris and the president, Joe Biden, if he's still president, we don't know. They called you after you were you got shot at and to wish you well, to say all these nice things.
They did.
But they're the same people that moments before say you're a threat to democracy, an existential threat, worse than Hitler. Does that mean that everything they say is full of?
Well, you know, both of the shooters, one is dead and the other one is in prison. And it was really great work, again, by Secret Service. And a woman who saw somebody running and running for the car because he was caught, and the Secret Service agent started shooting at him, didn't do any talking, said just, that's a barrel of a gun, started shooting, which was amazing. That he saw it, and then he started shooting. And so this man is running to the car, and a woman, of course, woman's always a woman, right?
We just found out,
No, but think about that. How smart. Who would do this? She sees somebody running, and she didn't like the way he looked. He looked very suspicious, and followed him and took the car, parked it right behind his, and started taking pictures of the license plate. Who would do that?
A Karen.
And then sent the picture to the sheriff, who's a great sheriff of Palm Beach County, and sent the pictures to the sheriff's office, and they got him in a high-speed chase down the highway. But who would do that? I mean, I said, out of 1,000 incidents, would that ever happen? And they said, very rarely, a thing like that. So she's very much of a heroine, right? Heroine.
Yeah. You know, it blows my mind, like how you take these events so, not lightly, but it's almost casually. The way, like, I get more angry, you know, when my pant pocket gets caught on a doorknob. I get angrier about that than you get angry about getting shot at. It doesn't. How do you
fawning over him like a little boy, bro? This shit is so embarrassing. All these grown, fully grown adults fawning over this man like he isn't the dumbest person they've ever seen. And again, the whole argument about that Donald Trump is getting shot at because of things Democrats, that's so stupid. It's desperate too. You know, it's like, y'all got to stop telling the truth about Donald Trump. Like, no, we don't. And ain't nobody going to do it either.
How do you process that?
Well, number one, do I have a choice?
Yeah.
Right? What am I going to do, right?
Yeah.
Do we have a choice? But, you know, it's interesting. I was thinking a lot about it over the last period of time since Butler. And being president is a very dangerous job because with a race car driver, that's a dangerous job. It's like 0.1% die. With a bull rider, I think bull riding looks pretty scary, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more than that die. With a president, what is it, 6% or 7%? It's the most dangerous profession there is. So,
not really, but okay.
If you want to be president, I have a lot of friends that wanted to run. They're thinking about maybe not doing it. But here's the only good thing is that it's always a consequential president that gets shot at. And fortunately, so far, I've been very lucky. Or something is greater than all of us.
Ooh.
And you know, that narrative too, and it's not even just Trump that says it. It's other Republicans too, like, well, God was looking out for you that day, but God wasn't looking out for the people who got shot. Like, so they don't matter, you know, fuck them. They were just, you know, sacrificial lambs because everything's about Donald Trump. And this is just continuing, like, all Trump talks about is himself. And all anybody else who fawns over Trump talk about is Donald Trump. They don't talk about issues. And if they do, it's just, oh, Haitians are eating people's pets. And that's as deep as it goes. Or I'm going to put 10% tariffs on everything that's being imported into the country. Other than that, it's just about Donald.
It is.
Something is up there. Someone is up there maybe watching over us.
I think he's voting for you.
Yeah. It's funny. I always thought the most dangerous job was feeding The View. But you bring up God, and you've almost been killed twice. Do you think more about your own mortality and what happens after you move on?
Yeah, not about mortality, but I do think more about God because, okay, Butler was really the greatest of all miracles. If I'm not looking over there, and I mean a full turn, exactly 90 degrees, I wouldn't be here right now.
If it wasn't for my racism, I'd be dead right now.
and your ratings would be a little bit lower, perhaps.
Yeah. We'd have Kilmeade there.
We have to tell the story of how we first met. The ratings over. Remember that
Yes.
1 week he just played that thing, but I do think about that because the chart. It was basically an immigration chart. We had our lowest numbers that we've ever had in immigration, and I very rarely use it. Maybe 15, 20%. It's always on my left, and it's always at the end of a speech. So now I said, bring down the chart right at the very beginning, almost like the first sentence of the speech. Bring down that chart because immigration's such a big thing now with, our country being basically taken over by Venezuela and lots of other people.
Basically taken over.
I said,
Our
bring
country's basically taken over by Venezuela.
on the chart, and the chart drops down, and I go, look at those numbers, and I look over to the right, and ping, and that was not. I knew
Chris
something.
Cuomo he had such a weird take on this. One of the things he said is Donald Trump, he got shot and he barely even talks about it. He doesn't even talk about it. Like, what? Yeah, he talks about it. One of the only things he talks about. He talks about it constantly.
Was definitely wrong, and it was a mess. I said, that's unusual.
Remember when you showed it to me?
I showed it.
Yeah, you showed it to me. You said, I know people aren't going to believe this, so Gutfeld, take a look at my ear.
That's right. We met in at the convention.
Yeah.
And I said, who am I going to show it to? We have a lot of guys. They'll say it didn't exist. And I actually did have such confidence in him, and he's really a very special guy, talented guy, good guy, great guy. And I said, if I'm going to show it, let's do it with Gutfeld.
Yes.
And
That's amazing. It's amazing.
because it happened right after.
Yeah, how did you get him to see the top of your ear?
Well, I sat in a low chair.
Okay, thank you.
But you know what? It was true. And I took the
I'll be looking up a
bandages
little
off
bit.
very carefully.
Yeah.
And I showed him. He said, "That's nasty."
Yes.
That was nasty. But
I
it healed
kind of
up.
wanted to touch it, but I knew I would have
No,
been
he didn't.
tackled. And I would have enjoyed it. But it's interesting to see the response to this second attempt. Every time you're under a bigger threat, the media still blames you even more.
Yeah.
It's almost as though they don't see their own role in this. What do you make? Have you just basically accepted this as a fact?
I think so. Yeah. Look, the media is extremely dishonest. Extremely.
But the media is not Fox, though, even though they're the biggest cable news channel in the country. But they're not part of the media.
Corrupt, actually. Look at the debate. I walked off. I said, "That's debate." They said I'm the GOAT in debates because I had a lot of debates and I became president. And the GOAT means greatest of all time. He's a GOAT. But I said, what a great stage. And I walked off that stage and I thought I had the best debate. And I was very unfairly treated by the anchor. I'm not fans of those guys anymore. And his hair was better 5 years ago than it is now. Okay? That happens. That happens with the clock.
I mean, who among us?
That happens with the clock. But they came at me on everything like crime.
Yeah.
I said the crime is rampant. He said crime is down. I said crime is down. Who would think it's without even knowing? And I was right. The following day, DOJ announced numbers. I don't know who it was in DOJ, but somebody over there likes me. That crime is up 45%, murders up, numbers
Everything is about him. And again, I thought I had a fantastic debate. I thought I did really well. They asked me questions. They were so unfair because they asked me questions. And the questions that they asked were stuff that like anyone could have expected that he would be asked. So I don't know why that's unfair other than the fact that he's a fucking bitch ass baby.
you wouldn't even believe. And anybody would know that without even seeing charts. But it turned out to be a false attack. They attacked the bloodbath. That was referring to the auto industry.
Right.
You know all these things.
Yeah.
Charlottesville was totally debunked by everybody, including
What
Laura.
does that even mean? Charlottesville was debunked. What does that mean? I really don't know what he's talking about.
Laura did a whole show on it, how it's so ridiculous.
And even Snopes, which is a left-wing
That's right.
site.
They even said.
Yeah.
But all of them, and they didn't correct her once, and they corrected me everything I said practically.
Because everything you said was stupid.
9 times or 11 times, and the audience was absolutely, they went crazy. And the real, I thought it was, murders up, numbers like you wouldn't even believe. And anybody would know that without even seeing charts. But it turned out to be a false attack. They attacked the bloodbath. That was referring to the auto industry.
Right.
You know all these things.
Yeah.
Charlottesville was totally debunked by everybody, including Laura. Laura did a whole show on it, how it's so ridiculous.
And even Snopes, which is a left-wing
That's right.
site.
They even said
What he's about to say.
Yeah.
But all of them, and they didn't correct her once, and they corrected me everything I said practically, and I think 9 times or 11 times, and the audience was absolutely, they went crazy.
The audience went crazy. There was no audience there. It was just Kamala and Donald and the debate moderators. There was no audience. He said the audience went crazy. God, this dude, bro, his brain is soup. This dude's brain is chicken noodle soup, man.
And the real, I thought it was, I walked off, I said, that was a great debate. I loved it. You know, you got a lot of people watch. I guess we had 75 million people watching, something like that. And you have to do well. You can't do badly. For instance, Biden didn't do so well.
All of them know that he lost that. It's so embarrassing, man. It's so embarrassing.
In the previous debate, because I had the 2 debates. I had one, we actually had 2 debates. You know, I had one against a man, and then they said, he's not doing well, take him out, put in a new one. And if she doesn't do well, I wonder if they're going to take her out. Just keep putting her. Let's see if we can get it right eventually.
But she is doing well. She's kicking your ass. She's beating you very, very badly. So what do you mean? Maybe they'll get her out too. There's 50 days or some shit left until the election. What are you talking about?
No, but a thing like that's never happened before. It's never, you know, it's like a fighter. He knows more about fighting, but I love the fighting. We love Dana White, all those guys. And Dana is great.
Well, your
right?
history in boxing is second to none.
I've had more Mike Tyson fights than anybody.
Yep.
Mike is great, and they're all great. And they're, you know, amazing people, really. It's a very hard thing to be a fighter. Number one, you have to be able to take hundreds of shots to the face within a couple of rounds and enjoy going out for the 5th round.
Yes.
You know, there aren't a lot of guys. A lot of great athletes have tried to be fighters. It doesn't work out so well. Very rarely does it work out. But this was something that was a very special moment. I thought this was a tremendous debate. And when you look at it, you know, it's interesting. Now that they're reviewing it, it was all word salad from her. The first question, I said, what kind of an answer is that? But the fake news said, oh, she did well. No matter what you do, if I were Winston Churchill, he was a great debater, by the way, and an elegant debater, if I were Winston Churchill, they would say, well, he was okay, but he wasn't special tonight. That was the kind of stuff.
What Winston Churchill debates are even recorded? This shit was like in the 30s and 40s. Like, what is he talking about?
You were exactly the same as the previous debate.
Bro, this was like the worst debate ever. Donald Trump gave one of the worst debate performances anyone's ever seen. Like, that was the most one-sided debate ever. And he's sitting up here talking about he won it and he did so well. And they're all like, yeah, you sure did.
That's what, if you look at it, there was,
I think so.
Yeah, there was no difference.
I actually wanted that attitude. You know, I've had different attitudes, right?
Yeah.
And you never know about debate. It's a little like Mike Tyson said. He said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And there's a lot of truth to that, right?
No, yeah. I mean, you walked in, you caught 3 before you even said hello to you.
Well, I mean, I had people telling me that I'm wrong about things where I'm totally right. I was right about...
I had people telling me I'm wrong about things where I'm... All of this is just to make Trump feel good. That's all this is about. It's so fucking pathetic, man.
Just about all of that stuff that they were correcting me. And I think my only regret is that I wanted to be elegant and I didn't want to go after the anchors. I wish I did, in a way.
Well, that's our job. We took care of them. We got
All right, we got to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with more.
Just pure embarrassment, unbelievably embarrassing. But I'm gonna cut this. Well, we still went for almost an hour and a half, so it wasn't really a short stream. But I got to get off. I got to make a phone call in about 30 minutes, and then I'm also doing another stream this evening. So, thank y'all for joining me today. Y'all have a fantastic evening. Catch me on my stream later. I might bump it to tomorrow. I might end up doing that depending on how much time I have. I got some stuff to do. So if I don't do my stream this evening, then I'm gonna do it tomorrow for sure. Because I got everything ready for it. I'm all prepared. I just got a bunch of stuff going on. But y'all have a fantastic evening. And if I don't see you later, I'll see you tomorrow.